Today I want to talk about shrinking for love. I believe there's a lot of messaging, not believe, I know there's a lot of messaging for high achieving women. And a lot of Heal Squad members are doing super phenomenal things, in the world. I mean, I believe the Heal Squad, I don't want to say Heal Squad Nation, but I believe the Heal Squad has women from every walk of life. But when I tell you that you guys are doing phenomenal things, and I love being able to work with you one-on-one to really hear about the things that you're doing in your life, there are some phenomenal Heal Squad members from those in the medical field, teachers. One of the Heal Squad members, I believe she taught herself how to do sign language, right? Like, you are an ambitious woman, you are a talented woman, you are a gifted woman. Some of you, I see your photos on YouTube when you leave a comment and I go, and you are women that are building a brand. You are a woman who, you are that girl, okay? And even if you aren't that girl yet, you are becoming. But there's very strategic, I believe, and intentional messaging to ambitious women. And I want to talk about that because I want to encourage you to stop shrinking for love. If you're new here, welcome to Heal the New Sexy, where we discuss all things healing, self-love, and relationships. My name is Cynthia. I am a licensed therapist and coach. And I get really saddened by the messaging that is targeted to ambitious women. And I get saddened for a few reasons. One, because the messaging that is targeted towards us is not true. And also, I'm an ambitious woman. So I know how it is to date. I know how it is to feel like maybe you're too much, and you're not too much. I just want to go ahead and say that. You are not too much for the right man. I think really many ambitious women, I know many ambitious women want partnerships. You want a loving relationship, but you are being told that you need to shrink. You're being told that maybe you're intimidating. You're being told that you are too ambitious. You need to be softer. You need to be in your feminine energy and not be masculine. And it how do I say this? It kind of tickles my brain when I hear specifically as it relates to women being masculine, right? So even though, like, you have to work in order to eat, you have to, if you want a job or if you're passionate about your career and you do well, I don't know why that's seen as masculine, right? Now, in this economy, in this world, we have to be able to take care of each other, but quite often it's seen that it's masculine when it really isn't. All right. People, and I don't think people tell us directly to shrink, but their messaging indicates that we are doing too much or we are becoming too much. And because we are becoming too much, then we're not going to be able to have access to a healthy partner, because maybe he will be intimidated by the things that we do, or maybe he'll think that we show up in our romantic relationships the same way we show up at work. And that's very different. You are a woman, you are a human being. And just because you show up, one way in one environment, you may show up in a different way in a different environment. Okay. How I show up at work is very different. Sorry, y'all, I'm trying to adjust to this hair and one of it's flying in my how I show up at work as a therapist that specializes in trauma is very different than how I show up on YouTube. And it's very different than how I show up as a mother. Okay. Like, you are a person, you are intricate. Just because you are dominating in your profession doesn't mean that's how you want to show up at home. You may be looking for a place to rest, but because people they only see one side of you, they are coming to conclusions as relates to who you are. Okay. I've even worked with women, like, they have very strong personalities. And if you're a strong woman, you can be accused of being masculine. And the truth is, you have to be life in, and you have to be strong. You have to have some strength. If not life gonna knock you down. And so I just believe that the messaging towards women, especially those that are high achieving, successful women, it targets us to make us feel small so that we will shrink. But I'm going to talk about the dangers of that. You should not shrink as a woman. Okay. Many of us have begun to edit ourselves so that we are more palatable. And I told you to let them choke. Okay. But the cost of shrinking yourself for love is that it causes internal issues. You know your greatness. It also may begin to feel like a cage. You can't be your authentic self in your relationship if you have to shrink who you are, if you have to silence your voice. And that's another thing. A woman that is knowledgeable, educated, and intelligent, there are some men who may not value that. And so you have been taught to be quiet. You may have been taught what male leadership is, which means he may have the final say. I remember a man saying that he was like, as the head of the relationship or head of marriage, like it's my job to have the final say. And there's some women that are looking for traditional relationships, and there's other women that are looking for egalitarian relationships in which you are partners. So one partner doesn't have the final say over the life of another. Okay. Let's talk about lies that women are told. Most highly successful women are taught that their success is a problem. Not because you aren't loving, not because you aren't kind, not because that you are nurturing, not because you aren't emotionally available, but because you're accomplished. Because you went to school like they told you to. I guess the thing was, you were supposed to go to school, but you weren't supposed to be valedictorian. You were supposed to go to school, but you wasn't supposed to graduate summa cum laude. Yes, you were supposed to get a fellowship, but you weren't supposed to go to Johns Hopkins. You ain't got the master's degree, but why'd you go to Harvard? Okay, you could have just went, I don't know where you got. I went to University of South Carolina. Go Gamecocks. Okay, but yeah, you were supposed to do the things, but not that much. And let me dive into it. Let me go ahead and get in there. Take me through that. Listen, I think the reason why high achieving, successful women are attacked in the way they are attacked is because, and the reason why they want you to shrink is because this will allow a man not to have to rise to where you are. And that's the conversation that many people don't want to have. So instead of challenging men to rise, they rather look at you and say shrink. Because first of all, let's be for real. You're only supposed to be a wife and a mother. How dare you build a brand and be super successful with it? How dare you open the law firm? There are Hill Squad hotties that got law firms. No, you're just supposed to be a paralegal, not a lawyer, not a partner at a law firm, Joan Clayton, and definitely not build your own law firm. You're not supposed to build the business and it be successful. No, not you, and have partnership. No, it's not available to you because a man doesn't want you when you get big. He doesn't want you. And and let me say this. Double standard. Okay, let's talk about the double standard. Men will work. Nobody tells a man to shrink. We just seen, I don't know if he's our first trillionaire, but Elon Musk just became a trillionaire. Nobody look at Elon Musk and say, listen, you need to shrink in order to have a woman. But we'll look at a woman and say, you need to shrink in order to have a man. There's not going to be many men available to you because of the things that you're doing as it relates to your profession, your purpose, and your passion. You could be a founder of a nonprofit. And it's problematic because you are the one that is as out. I have an idea for a nonprofit since I've had breast cancer. So I would be the face of it. I would be talking about my journey as it relates to breast cancer, right? But I'm doing this video because one, I don't want you to internalize this lie. And if you are a believer in a higher power, okay, if he created you, let me just say this. If he created you, surely he created a man that's going to love you down. So stop feeling like you have to shrink, okay? Many women have been indoctrinated that their financial success and their success in their career are liabilities the moment they start dating, the moment you want love, the moment you wanted a healthy relationship. Now, all of a sudden, these very great qualities that allowed you to be successful in your career, now they are liabilities. Why is that? Have you ever taken a moment to to identify why that is, because if you're a confident, you have to be confident in order to go after the things in life. But if you become a mother, guess what you'll do? You encourage your children. You'll raise confident children. See, the same thing, the same way that you are able to show up in the earth, you will impart that in your children. Matter of fact, you will speak life and encourage your husband to do the very same thing. Matter of fact, some of the skills that you have as it relates to building your own, you'll be able to use those skills to help him build whatever it is that you guys are building as a family. But they want you to shrink. Do it make sense? Is it me? Maybe I'm the problem, right? So women start becoming smaller. You start hiding your degrees. You start hiding what you do for a living. You downplay your accomplishments. You don't want us to celebrate you. You don't want us to clap for you because you are being cognizant of a man who, let's be for real, is not even there. But you're already practicing shrinking because people online are telling you, well, this is what a man wants. But is that what you want in a partner? See, that's the question. Would you even be attracted, or are you even attracted to men that make you shrink? That man don't have capacity. Bad English, I know, but I'm from the South. Okay. That man don't even have capacity for you. What you want him for? Why do you want a man who doesn't have capacity for you? All right, so these women avoid talking about their goals. You minimize your intelligence. You apologize for your standards, your boundaries. You apologize for. You think maybe I am too much and that's why I'm single, because maybe I am too much. How did you become too much? That's a lie. Girl, you probably ain't even doing enough. Listen, all because they're hoping that someone will choose them. Now remember, we believe in mutual selection. And we also believe in dating selfishly over here. We don't believe in performing for love, and we're not going to shrink for love either. There's a decision that you have to make. Okay? Let me go ahead and talk to you about this decision real quick. You're going to have to make the decision to be your authentic self and believe that love is available to you in your authenticity, or you're going to have to shrink and deal with the consequences that come with that. I personally have made the decision that I would rather be my authentic self than shrink. Because I know how it is to shrink. It's a cage. It's uncomfortable. It's miserable. You're trying to figure out why you can't sleep at night, why you're having panic attacks, why you're depressed, why you're bitter, why you're struggling with resentment. You're trying to figure out those things. And that's because you've made a decision to shrink for love or just to shrink for life in general. And you weren't created to shrink. You were created to be majestic. You were created to be powerful. You were created to be a trailblazer. You were created to change the game. That's why you're created. And this is the thing. Just because God decided that your gender would be woman, your spirit has no gender. So when he gave you gifts, which you doing and being what you are is a gift from him, in my opinion, he gave it to you. How dare you shrink for love? When the creator of love created you, that means you don't trust him that there's a man that's been created to be in relationship with you, a man that has been created to cultivate you, a man that's been created to cover you. And there's many women under the sound of my voice you shrank before. Go ahead and type down below the cautionary tale for the other women that are thinking about and considering shrinking. You're shrinking to make him feel more comfortable in his life. You're shrinking so he doesn't feel secure. You're shrinking so he doesn't have to rise to his level of where he's supposed to be. Okay. All right. All right. And when you hope that someone chooses you, especially in the state where you're shrinking, that person, right? The person that's being chosen is not the real you. It's someone else. The person who's being chosen is your inauthentic self. The person that's being chosen is really the imposter. And then you're in relationships or you're in marriage and you're like, he doesn't see me. Because you never introduced him to you. You never trusted him with you. You didn't allow him to make a decision because you believe the lies of other people. One of the greatest threats to well-being is living in a contradiction with yourself. Imagine spending years building your confidence. Many of you've been in therapy, coaching, you read the books, listened to the podcast, you've been practicing in real life. You did all of that, right? Years of healing, years earning degrees, years building your business, years of developing your voice because maybe one time in your life your voice was silenced. Then you enter a relationship where you are expected to act as though none of that matters. Oh, it don't matter. You got a degree. How would that benefit me? Well, a degree taught me how to follow deadlines. It taught me how to follow timelines. It taught me how to be a critical thinker. It taught me how to be a problem solver. It taught me how to navigate a system. It also taught me how to grow within a system as well, to the place of graduation. And when we have children, I'll be able to teach our children how to do the very same thing. It taught me how to be timely. That's why I'm able to get up and go to work on time. Right? Don't ever let a man minimize who you are. Everything as it relates to you, he should be excited about and want to explore more of. Okay? Your spirit knows that something is wrong because your authentic self and your performed self are now in conflict. This is why many women in these situations feel exhausted, not because the relationships are hard, not because but because acting is hard. Pretending is hard. Monitoring yourself is hard. Playing small is hard. Shrinking yourself is hard. Not being seen is hard. Not being heard is hard. Imagine you're sitting there and you guys are doing a family photo shoot, but on the inside you're screaming. You've plastered a smile on your face, but internally there's a conflict because you're not able to be yourself. You're constantly wondering whether you are, if you are too much. You become responsible for managing everyone else's comfort while abandoning your own. And eventually that becomes emotionally draining. The danger isn't that you'll make yourself smaller temporarily. That's not the danger. The danger is that you'll make yourself smaller and you'll shrink permanently. The danger is that you'll forget who you are. In her book that I'm reading, and I'm sorry, y'all, you kept mentioning that book because it's been so good so far. She talked about the cheetah, if you've read this book. And she talked about how the cheetah didn't know, because the cheetah was at the zoo. The cheetah no longer was in touch with its instinct, didn't know who it was, didn't know how majestic it was. You ever seen I used to love watching National Geographic online, and you see how the cheetah walks. It walks very different than the lion. Do you see what I'm saying? And the cheetah didn't know who it was. And for many of us, and I've done this in a previous relationship, when you shrink, you no longer know who you are. You walk by the mirror. You walk by the mirror and you don't know who you are because you shrunk for love. Why would love cause you to shrink? Why wouldn't love cause you to expand? Why won't love cause you to rest? Why doesn't love accept you for who you are? And why do you believe that love won't accept? Listen, I'm coming for your beliefs. I'm coming for what you believe. Why you believe that? Come on. So your hobbies disappear. You was outside playing pickleball. You was outside playing golf. Right? Their ambitions disappeared, their confidence disappeared. And even this, when I hear men say things to a woman like, oh, I like women without makeup. He's trying to cause you to disappear. Now, I'm not saying a man can't prefer that. He can, but why would you go after a woman who has on makeup and then say, oh, I prefer women without makeup, or I prefer women without extensions? Why would you get with a woman and then want to change how she looks physically? It's very intentional, so you don't receive any male attention. He wants your worth and validation to only be through him. Meanwhile, he getting a haircut, he getting what's that stuff they be painting on their head? I can't stand that stuff. Well, we can't stand your wig. So, okay, and I don't care. I said what I said. You got that, y'all saw on Tubi with Kevin on stage, that man had he had was it Beijing all the way down here? Yeah. Meanwhile, he looking good. He smelling good. He able to show up to the relationship as himself and looked at you and tell you, oh, you doing too much. You don't need the makeup. You don't need the hair. You're beautiful. That may be the case, but he doesn't respect who you are. I saw this on Ashley Dalton, a young lady. I think she was 22. Her boyfriend was 19, and he was telling her that he liked her natural hair. He didn't like her makeup, and so she was trying to get advice. The advice is, girl, do what you want to do and live in color. Right? Your confidence has disappeared in this relationship. Your voice has disappeared in this relationship. Your self-trust has disappeared in this relationship. Your self-trust. You used to be able to make decisions, but now you don't trust yourself. Now you're running every decision, even as it relates to what you're building, through someone else, because you have abandoned and neglected yourself, right? A woman who once felt powerful now feels uncertain. Somebody that I admire is Ebony K. Williams. She had a conversation, I forget, with the two, I think they're both news anchors. And I love how she is very authentic. I love how she knows, this is how I plan to show up. This is, this is who I am. She's not changing who she is, especially the integral parts of her that make her who she is. She's not changing those things in order to be in a relationship. And the very same should be for you. Settling or compromising doesn't mean death to self. You are an individual. You are a woman. You are a human. And I think as women, our mental health has really been, one, taken advantage of, also neglected. Because we are basically being taught, in order to be in a relationship and a marriage, this is how you have to be. And if you're not that, then you're not going to get married. You're going to be alone by yourself. And it removes the personhood. Now it's just performance. And you shouldn't have to perform for love. Okay? It happened one compromise at a time, one silence at a time, one swallowed opinion at a time, one abandoned dream at a time, until you became unrecognizable to yourself. Now let's talk about the outcome when you shrink for love. 1, self-abandonment. 2, bitterness. 3, resentment. You start feeling angry. You start feeling unseen. You start feeling underappreciated. You start wondering why nobody celebrates you, why no one cares, right? But how can somebody celebrate you when you don't allow them to meet the authentic and the true you? A lot of us have been taught that we should esteem relationships over self. And that's just not the case, because you matter too. You matter. Your humanity matters. Your personhood matters. Your voice matters. Your purpose matters. Your passions matter. Your visions matter. You matter. Love would never cause you to shrink. It would never. It would never. It would never. Love would never cause you to deceive yourself to be in it. Love would never cause you to stop trusting yourself. If anything, it will cultivate those things more. So let's challenge something. What if success is not the problem? What if your intelligence is not the problem? What if being an it girl is not the problem? Being a socialite is not the problem. Being an heiress is not a problem. Being a princess, well, it's not the problem. Being the daughter of a politician is not the problem. Wanting to go into politics is not the problem. I'm just laughing because of the lunacy of it all. Lunacy of it all. The problem truly is trying to fit into spaces that were not built for you. Okay? Healthy love doesn't require self-abandonment. It doesn't ask you to become smaller. Healthy love doesn't require you to dim your light so someone else can feel bright. A secure partner is inspired by your growth, and it's not competition. They are inspired. My baby's doing this. My girl is doing this. And you're like, my man is doing this. I'm so proud of him. He went from working, I want a Porsche. He went from working at the Porsche dealership to now we've secured a facility. We've gotten the contracts, and he is going to be having a dealership. He is now the general manager of the dealership. And he's like, my baby girl is a doctor, and she went from working for a hospital that now she's opened her own primary care. My primary care physician just opened. She has primary care, a medical spa, and urgent care. She's married. Her and her husband built that. She didn't have to shrink. She didn't have to shrink. Okay? She didn't have to shrink. And then online, she's in fashion. Okay? Her name is Dr. Gucci. That's what we call her, Dr. Gucci, right? Online, she's in fashion. So she's buying the Prada and buying the things, and she's on Instagram. Whole doctor. Whole success. And when I tell you that her primary care clinic is nice, it's decorated, she has staff. And let me tell you, the first time I went there was last year in November. I went back there, staff's still there. Come on now. Come on, you don't have to shrink. I think of also, there's this lady I told you when I went through chemo on Thursdays. Her name is Ruth. I believe the last name is pronounced Kaderi. I could be wrong. If you are in Nigeria, type it out so I know how to pronounce her name, because I want to honor her. She does a movie almost every Thursday. And when I tell you every Thursday for 6 months, I was watching her movies. I know she's married. I know she has a husband. I don't know what her husband does. But I know that she's loved around the world. I know that she has impact. And I love that for her. When I tell you I love her movies, I just stumbled upon one day. And I was like, let me watch this here on YouTube. I love it. You could be a woman. Like, there's always this question for women. Can you have it all? Men don't have to. Men are never asked, can they have it all? But you're asked. You absolutely can. You can have it all. You can have it all. A lot of women have been taught that being chosen is the ultimate goal when it isn't. We believe in mutual selection. We are choosing our husband. He is choosing us. We are choosing our romantic partner. They are choosing us. It's not that we're waiting. Oh, pick me. This is not, like when you're in school and you raise your hand and you're waiting for no, it's not that. It's we're making a conscious decision in order to be in a relationship with this person. Period. That's it. Okay? Being chosen by the wrong person can cost you years of your life. And you know that. Or being in a relationship with the wrong person can cost you years of your life. Even if the relationship was 6 months and it takes you a year to heal, that year that you spent healing is more time than you spent in the relationship. So it cost you. But the goal is to access a healthy relationship, a relationship where you can rest, a relationship where you can breathe, a relationship where you can be your authentic self, a relationship where you have support, a relationship that doesn't require you to downsize, a relationship where you don't have to hide, a relationship where you are supported, a relationship where he's not jealous, a relationship where he is not controlling, a relationship where he's not demeaning, he's not trying to humble you, really humiliate you. He is not doing those things, because healthy love will never require you to shrink. It'll never. And this is the thing, even as it relates to dating, healthy love doesn't say, to you when you want to go to the fancy steakhouse, why you want to go there? Well, you want to buy the present. Why you go? We can use that money for something else. Healthy love doesn't say that. Healthy love say, look at price tags, where they do that at. Not in the ATL. Just throw it in the bag within reason, right? Healthy love, even for the ladies that have been called to ministry, because I grew up in an era where women couldn't preach at the pulpit; they had to preach at the altar. Healthy love knows and understands that God called you and that He gave you your gifts, and that you may be a spiritual powerhouse. You can pray heaven down. You are an intercessor. You see things, sense things, feel things. God speaks to you in ways that your husband or your partner may not be that sensitive to. He will allow you to, not allow you, He would encourage you to cultivate that. Because He may say, listen, I got a contract, babe. Can you go pray? Yeah. No, baby, you got it. Go pray and talk to God on behalf of this contract. Go do that. Not shrink. So to every successful woman watching this, you don't need to become less impressive or less majestic. You don't have to become less ambitious for love. Healthy love doesn't require you to reduce yourself. Healthy love will require you to grow, to expand, to evolve. And healthy love also requires your being your authentic self. And if you can't be authentic in the relationship, then it's not a relationship. It's a prison. All right. My name is Samantha. This is Healed New Sexy. I want to talk to you down below in the comments. Also, be sure to join the membership. I love you so much. Until we talk again.